God said, fine, if that's what you want, then I'm going to fix you. I'll give you exactly what you want. But in giving you what you want, you're going to lose me. Because you're saying no to what I want to give you. It reminds me of years ago, the boys didn't like certain things that Mom cooked. And so Mom would just say, you guys can just go on to bed without dinner. God said, you can go on to bed, but you're not going to have my glory. You're not going to have my peace. I can't walk that way. So I'll give you what you want. And you know, in God giving us what we want, many times that's our punishment. Because we get what we want rather than getting what we need. And the punishment begins to come on and come on strongly. As these guys begin to whine and to complain, I think they thought about, God, don't you remember what all we gave up just to come out here and follow you? Well, we gave up 3 square meals a day. We gave up getting up before daylight and working until after dark. We gave up all of these things just to come out here and wander around in freedom just for you. How many times have you heard people say, you know, if I had not gotten saved, if I had not really given myself to the Lord, well, I would have been a world-class singer. I would have went to Nashville and I would have been a millionaire. I've heard preachers say that. I've heard other Christians say that. What you give up thinking that you're going to really earn something great with God, and you start bragging about what you gave up. But then you start thinking about, well, if I would have went back to Nashville, I would have been hanging out with guys like Johnny Trash and what's her name, Tammy Why Not? I can't think of all those people back there. But anyway, you'd ended up just like they. Let's look at verse 18. Numbers 11 and verse 18. Say thou unto the people, Moses, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. We're in Numbers chapter 11 and verse 18. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh. And for ye have wept in the ears of the Lord. What he's saying is, you've been begging, and you've been begging. Kind of reminds me of the kids. Please, please, can I have an ice cream? Please, 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 can I have this? Please, 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 can we go to the Jelly Belly factory? Please, please, please. And so God said, fine, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. Now, let's go on. He says, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. Ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, not even 10 days or 20 days, but even a whole month, until it come out at your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you. You're going to have meat to eat until you get sick of it. You get to the point where every time your wife goes in to cook and you smell meat cooking, you're going to go, meat again. You know, it's amazing how we cannot get satisfied with what we have. We're always wanting what we don't have, and when we get what we don't have, then it's like, I want what I used to have because I don't want this anymore. Man is so fickle. But going on here, it says, the reason that God was going to do this to them, notice the next part of the verse, because that ye have despised the Lord which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? You're going to lose what you had. And the reason is because you're accusing me of not taking care of you. A lot of times children of God get so caught up in what the world has and what it used to be and what they would like to have until they forget about what God has been giving and what God has been blessing them with. And because of that, God says, you don't understand. I have been right here with you all along. All I wanted you to do was to serve me, and because you don't want to serve me, then I'm going to give you what you want. I can tell you time and again through my life, I've seen people who wanted more than what God was giving them. And as a result, they began to pursue it, and God gave them what they wanted. And once they got a hold of it, they didn't want it. It ruined their lives. I think of one dear brother. I'll not call names, but he wanted to sing. He wanted to, he and his two brothers did great work together. His two brothers went into the ministry and began to preach. The youngest brother, he still wanted to sing. And instead of singing for the glory of the Lord, he got out in the world and started singing. Using his talents, playing the piano and singing and doing all the things that he did. For some reason, the boy got diabetes. And from there, he lost his right leg. And just this last month, he lost his second leg. Getting what we want and losing what we had. Notice here with Israel, God tells them, you're going to get some things, but it's not going to be what you want. How many times do we beg God? Now we're going to stop preaching and go to meddling. How many times do we ask God, man, if I just had a new house, if I could just get this new house and get out of this situation and get in this situation, I know I can really serve the Lord. And we finally go and we make the deal, we get into the deal, and we move into the house, and we're just so excited and happy the first month or two, and it's just so great. I mean, things are just clicking together, and all of a sudden the bills start coming in, and we say, well, you know, I forgot about I'm going to have to pay insurance on this, and I forgot about if there's a plumbing problem, I'm going to have to pay for it, and I didn't think about this and this, but I tell you what, I can take care of it. And pretty soon, all of a sudden, the monies that you used to give to missionaries are going to upkeep. The monies that you used to use to go out and just have a hamburger once in a while, you're having to pay for the plumbing. And it's not long until you say, well, you know, the only way I'm going to be able to hang on to this is I've got to get another job. And pretty soon you're working on the days that you used to worship the Lord in. And all of this, and you say, well, I know God gave it to me. Are you sure? Was it one of those situations where you said, Lord, please, I just got to have it. I want it. I want it. And God gave it to you. And when you got it, you lost what you had. I'm reminded of a story of a little girl whose parents were very, very wealthy. And they had a caregiver that would stay there with the two children all the time. And the little girl, 5 years old, she hated it because her mom and dad would get up early in the morning and go to work and come home late at night, many times after she went to bed. And the only time she got to see him was maybe once or twice a week, and it was just killing her. And through the whole crunch of the economy, the parents lost everything. And it wasn't long till the parents lost the business they had, and they had to go to work for someone else. And every day the parents would leave around 8 o'clock. And they'd come home around 5:30. One day the little girl came up and crawled up in her dad's arms and says, Dad, it is so good to have you here. Don't get rich no more. The important things we many times lose because we're pursuing things that really have no value. After all, you can't eat a house. You can't eat new shoes. You can't eat a new dress. God's promised to take care of our needs, not all of our want-tos. So, you get all of these things, and then it's not what you wanted. Notice in Numbers chapter 11 and verse 4, it says, they wanted meat like those they used to have down in Egypt. And they got it, verse 16 through 20, and it ran out their nostrils. In other words, their entire focus was on what they got rather than on who gave it. They became lean in their souls. In other words, their focus changed from the giver of good things to the things that they had. And as a result, verse 33 says that God sent a plague among them, and there's a bunch of them started dying. Many people work themselves to death to pay for junk.